In 2007, when everybody else was losing money, hedge funds were up by 10%. They didn't lose. Even the hedge funds that were specialized in asset-backed securities, which would include subprime stuff, these guys were flat for the year. They dodged the bullet. In 2008, hedge funds were down, but they were down by half as much as the S&P 500 index. So they came through this crisis without causing knock-on problems. And when they did fail, they weren't too big to fail. They didn't get bailed out by taxpayers. They were small enough to fail. And they didn't take any money from the taxpayers, not a single cent. And what's more, the creditors didn't lose either, because hedge funds are structured such that when they start to go wrong, they get wound up very quickly and they go out of business before the equity cushion is burnt through, so that the creditors get 100 cents back on the dollar. And in terms of preventing contagion in the financial system, that's extremely healthy. And I think if you go back to what I was saying about A.W. Jones before, the idea that you have investors managing these funds who have skin in the game, they put their own money in the fund. If they blow up, it's their own savings. That's a very healthy factor for managing downside risk. And in the same way, if they get 1/5 of the profits, that's a healthy thing for giving them the incentive to go out and do the hard work to find how to be against the crowd. So why did some of them bet successfully against subprime mortgages? It's not just because they're wacky. It's because they spent money on doing incredibly expensive and difficult research on figuring out what was going to happen with house prices and why the mortgage industrial complex was wrong. And that's what John Paulson did. If you go see John Paulson, he's not a wacky character, but he's a very serious guy, and he spent $2 million on getting the best data that there was, housing it in an outside computer system because his own workstations were too small to take all these data, hiring new guys to come in and do the analysis of all the data so that he could really develop the conviction you need to be contrarian. So I think what it all boils down to is that, we've got financial risk out there, and it's not going away. Currencies will go up and down, interest rates will go up and down, and they're going to be difficult things to do when you think about absorbing financial risk and making financial bets. It's hard to get it right all the time, and so financiers will make mistakes and things will go wrong. And the question is, where do you want to put this risk? Do you want to put it in too big to fail institutions that taxpayers underwrite, or do you want to put it in small enough to fail hedge funds